and this is a really, really cool moment for me because I love this car. It's not that one.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Hi and welcome to Sam's Garage. We're out in the middle of the New Forest and today we're going to see a very, very special car. This one I've absolutely loved for ages. I can't wait to show you around it. It's just one of those ones that I've always wanted to have sat on the drive, and today we actually get to look around one, and this one is particularly special. So let's wait for him to turn up. Oh, I love that car. Oh, I love that car. All right. Right, so this is the car we were talking about. This is a 1970 Baja Beetle. Now, for some of those of you who know what a Baja Beetle is, well, I kind of know what it is, but you know what? It's probably better if I just get the owner to come and explain. So, Jack, do you mind coming over and saying hello, buddy? Mate, thank you so much for bringing this down. Really appreciate it.
It's all good.
So come on, tell us about this car, because before you tell everyone the really exciting bit, and you know what I'm talking about, tell us what this is, how long you've had it, tell us the story behind it.
So I've had Bajas and Beetles in general in the past, had loads of other cars and bikes and thought I really want to have one again. So I was looking for a really clean Beetle to make into a Baja, and luckily one turned up one day. It was a bit of a project, but it was well worth it. We'll get on to why it was worth it in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Didn't cost me very much, but it took about 2 years to get it on the road. So it was a bit of work still to do with it.
Right.
And it was about 6 years ago I got it. So
Okay.
I've had it for quite a while now, and it's been pretty reliable for the last 4 when it's been on the road. And every year sort of doing little bits and pieces to it just to try and improve it, make it a little bit better. So,
and you've kept it with this rat look, which I love. Yes. It's very you. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean, it's amazing. It goes with the hair, it goes with the look. It's just Mad Max epic.
It's really cool.
I'm all over this. So when you take a Beetle and you chop it to turn it into a Baja, if I remember correctly, so the bonnet and the side wings are a fiberglass single piece, right?
Yes, so this is a single piece. It doesn't have to be. Most Bajas aren't, and they retain the trunk still. They cut the front end off. There's a separate bonnet. Then there's 2 pieces for separate wings as well.
Right. Okay.
So it's more of a 7-piece, whereas this is more of a, I guess, race going.
Yeah. Okay.
1 piece. So just quicker to chuck the front off. There's nothing underneath really. It's all really easy to work on.
Yeah.
The other one is sort of more if you want to keep it more roadworthy and you want to still put your lunch in it and
right, okay.
a picnic or whatever. So.
Yeah. And obviously the back end, you've chopped the wings off it, or have you just unbolted them, or
so
we'll turn it around in a minute and we'll sort of show the back of the car, but the main body is all still the same, and the doors and glass and things.
Yeah, doors, glass, roof, everything is still original Beetle. They do a kit for Baja, so those are Baja wings. Again, they're fiberglass. You don't have to have them, but fiberglass is just easy. It doesn't rust. It's just much more straightforward, and you get them as a kit as well. So.
And this is a 1970, so
yeah.
How have you got this? How is it so jacked? I know it's got enormous wheels on it, but how have you got this so jacked up?
Well, to be honest, the front is actually a standard beam. So it is standard front end, ball joint, not extended, not lifted, original spindles, back end, same. It's just up on the splines a little bit at the back. So it's the tyres that really give it the lift.
So a couple of tweaks to what's standard,
yeah,
put some big wheels on it and move on with your day.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a spline adjustment on the back, nothing on the front, just bigger tyres.
Okay, so this is, I mean, I've always loved this car, and I really want to do one of these. Can we turn it around to show the kind of the more special bit of the car? Is that all right?
Yeah.
So this isn't a standard engine in the back of one. This isn't a Beetle engine.
This isn't a Beetle engine.
No. So tell me, what's the engine in this?
So this is a 2-litre of a Subaru Impreza.
Okay, yeah, so you can see why this is a bit special. So yeah, tell me about it, because you put it in, didn't you?
Well, it came with the car, luckily, so that's why I feel I got such a good deal on it because it was rust free and it came with the engine, adapter plate, wiring, all that sort of thing. It was a lot of work to get it finished, so it took 2 years, but the core components were there, and we just sort of had to sort of finish it.
So did you have any problems fitting the engine?
No, not at all, no, because it's on an adapter plate, so it's still the original 4 bolts onto the gearbox, so it's really easy in and out.
So this is still on the Beetle gearbox?
Still in a Beetle gearbox, yeah.
So this must get through the first couple of gears pretty quick.
Very quick, yeah. You're barely in them. You can pull away in fourth if you want to, but it does make it a little bit revvy when you're going sort of down the motorway at high speeds.
Yeah.
It's a very close ratio, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I followed you on the way here, and it's
screaming.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, this to me, this looks like a wing, and I don't know my Porsches very well. Sorry to those of you out there that like your Porsches. This to me looks like a wing off the back of a Porsche, like a sort of 80s Porsche. Now, is that the case, or is this, you know, what's the deal with it?
I think it's pretty close. So I believe the rubber part is moulded, well, probably from a Porsche, moulded from one of those. But the actual fiberglass itself is moulded to fit a deck lid of a Beetle. They used to make kits in the 80s to make people's Beetles look like Porsches.
Right.
You know, it's if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
I've seen some of the builds, like on the old, was it Spiders and things like that?
yeah, I think so.
There was a number of kits back in there. I mean, the Beetle was such a great car that, you know, and they made millions of them, so parts were everywhere. They were used as the base for lots of different kit cars. There was, I think there was a kit car called the Nova.
Nova, yes.
Which had a whole,
yeah.
you know, I think I'm going to talk about those, one of those in an episode, because I want to get my hands on one, because it had no doors.
Oh, the whole canopy. Yeah,
came
I know
up
the
on
one.
Hydraulics.
Yeah.
And that, I think that was a Beetle underneath as well. And I know they were used for a number of kit cars back then. But you got this engine with the car. You know, if you had the time, I know you did it over a couple of years. I know what it's like to have projects that just go on and on and on, and you've got other things.
Don't have the time, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the time. But if you just like had full time dedicated from picking the kit up to actually getting it to the point that you could take it for an MOT, how long do you think it would have taken you?
What, is this a standard Baja or this one?
This one.
This one? I don't know. If you were mechanically minded and you could weld, week or two.
A week or two?
Yeah.
So
because I had to wait for, because I can't weld. So I sent it off to have the cage made, the exhaust made, all these little things. And it's all the tiny little bits. But to be honest, they're really simple cars. A lot of people have them as their first classics Beetles, just because they're so simple and you can next day most parts. So they're not hard to get onto the road. It's just, yeah, the fabrication, I think, took the time and booking it in, and yeah.
But what you're basically saying is if you can find one of these with most of the parts, and I say when you can find one of these, because you know I'm looking for one of these. So if I can find one of these, you can help me find one of these that's got most of the parts. We're talking about me taking a couple of weeks holiday.
I say if you
and doing it in 2 weeks.
If you had a standard Beetle and you had a hacksaw and you had the body kit.
A reciprocating saw.
Reciprocating saw, yeah.
A hacksaw.
It might take a while.
Hacksaw's going to take absolutely.
But it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably do it in an afternoon because it's just bolting on the wings, chop the front, fitting the bonnet, new bonnet, and then yeah, you can buy engine cages and bumpers for the front. You can buy sidebars, wheels. You can have it all together in a couple of days probably.
This is extraordinary. I love it. I mean, it's so simple. What was it like fitting the water system? Because you've got the radiator on the back here mounted into the wing. Did you have any complications with that, or is it actually part of the kit, or did you have to do some?
Well, no, it's not part of the kit, but I was really lucky; it was already there. So it was an unfinished project. The cooling system already being done. The Subaru wiring was all there. It's behind the passenger seat. The thing that we had to do is we had to sort of splice it into the Beetle itself, all the wiring for the Beetle, and it had none of that.
Right. Okay.
So we had to do all of that, but luckily it was 6 wires to connect it up to the Beetle loom.
Really?
It's that simple, and then turn the
I suppose
key.
you've only got the speedo, haven't you?
Yeah, turn the key, yeah, pump a few times, and it just fired straight up.
What ECU is running this, or is it a standard Subaru?
It's just standard, yeah. I don't think it's tunable. I believe the turbo ones are, but it's fine for now. It's just been so reliable, and I'd have it any day over a carbed sort of Beetle engine. I've had one before, and it's just a lot of adjustments and oil leaks and things, and this has just been faultless. I think it's about 120 horsepower.
Right, okay.
125.
120 horsepower and what, 700 kilos or something?
I think it's a bit heavier. I think these weigh a ton.
Yeah,
the boat anchors on
true.
the back.
I mean, the wheels are just enormous. And one of the things I noticed while I'm squatted down here is that I love that That's the oil filter, and the sump drain is there. I mean, I've never seen a car that's that easy to do an oil change on.
You don't even need to jack it up. And your plugs are there as well.
It's pre-jacked.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, now, there was one thing you mentioned to me a little while ago. These wheels are really hard to come by, or the tyres are really hard to come by.
Tyres, yeah. I saw them on a Baja in America, and I was like, I've got to find wheels like that. And I knew the mud terrain BF Goodriches.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't find that tyre side. And I think they discontinued them. So these are 12.8 inches wide, and I think they're about 30 inches tall.
Right.
So yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, these are pretty serious. So, I mean, I love this car. You know I love this car. I'm so grateful for you coming on the channel and talking about it, because we're not obviously working on a car today. We are literally just looking around this. Can you take me for a drive in it? Can you take me out? I'd love to just like experience, because I've not been out in this. I haven't been out in this yet. I've only ever sat in it. I've never actually been out in it.
No.
So you can take me out in it?
Of course, yeah.
Excellent. Right. Hey, buddy, can you just rev it up for us, please? That is so awesome. Right, let's go for a spin. Is it literally just a lap seatbelt?
It is just a lap belt. Well, back in those days, you didn't even need a seatbelt,
So-
I think, by law.
So if something happens, I'm gonna get folded in half.
Yeah. Swift and painless.
This is so cool. You've had this for 6 years.
6 years.
Are you bored of it yet?
No. How could you ever get bored of this? It's great. Well, the great thing with Beetles is you can do so much with them. You can drag race them, you can stance them out, off-road them, do pretty much anything really. And there's so many bits and parts you can get for them. It's so great and easy to work on as well.
That's what I love about cars like this, the kit car, some of the old classics. They're just so basic. There's not a lot to go wrong with them.
Nothing at all really. Well, there is, but yeah.
Well, there's plenty that can go wrong, but ultimately they're very simple. There's a lot
Very
less
simple,
things
that's
that
what I
can
mean,
go. Yeah, there's a lot less things that can go wrong.
I say there's nothing underneath the car. It's completely flat bottom. If you need to work on it, it's all out the back.
Yeah.
No bodywork, engine bay. It's just there. And if you want to work on the front, the whole end comes off. It's so easy to get to everything. It's so easy to get parts. It's like working on Meccano. I think it's one of the most simple cars, the Beetle. So that's what I say. It's a great first starter car for somebody.
Yeah.
And you can do so much with them. And so all the parts are cheap. There's plenty of them about. Great first car. Well, classic and maybe project car. Maybe not best first car, but
Yeah, I'm not sure you really want to get one of these to go to college in.
no. Well, I did. I've had 4.
You've had
I've
4?
had 4 Beetles.
4 Beetles.
2 Beetles, 2 Bajas.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, let's go for it. That is just... I think I've got a new goal. Get one of these and then get one properly jacked up and then put something silly under the back.
Well, in the States it's popular to put LSV8s in them. So
LSV8s, so, you know, something that's going to be sort of like 5-6 litres.
yes. Oh, with a supercharger.
Oh, how would you control the thing? So, Jack has very kindly offered for me to drive this, and I am super excited because I've never driven one, and I didn't ask. He offered, so well, you better take the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the bike point on this? That feels quite high.
Yeah. I say you can adjust it, but that's just how I'm used to it, I suppose.
Yeah. This is just, oh, I've got to get me one of these. This is so cool. I love how compact it is in here.
Oh, that's tiny.
Yeah, but it feels really small on the road, and then you see it next to another car and you realise how wide it is. It's what was it, 6 feet wide or something with the tyres?
I don't know. I'll measure it for you.
This is just, you know what? I'm not even I'm not even edging to throttle it. I'm just enjoying driving it. I'm not feeling like the kit car always feels like it wants to be thrashed, whereas as much as this does sound incredible when you open it up, I'm just driving it along and I don't feel the need to absolutely thrash it. I just want to enjoy the experience. I love this. Now, at the end of the day, I think this is a beautiful car. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I love it, Jack loves it, and that's all that's really important. If you love your toy, if you love the car that you're passionate about, your motorbike or whatever toy it is you've got, that's all that matters. If other people love it as well, then it just makes it even more special. I really, really want one of these. And what Jack was saying about doing a turbocharged Super Impreza one, I think that's got to be one of the builds coming up. So we need to find one of these. So a couple of things if you're watching this. If you do know where we can get a set of tyres, an extra set of tyres for Jack, please let us know. And if you know of one of these that is unloved, it's lying in somebody's drive somewhere and it needs a home, I would really like to get my hands on one of these. So let us know and look forward to seeing you next time.